Each week we listen to an album, here's a remind. Just know it's gonna take about 3 hours of your time to hear us complain or praise each other's taste. But no matter what, at the end of the day, we're just best friends who love different music. We are earbuds, earbuds, earbuds. This is Earbuds.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Earbuds. If you're watching this on YouTube, first of all, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and comment down below. Tell us everything you're thinking about. We want to know, we really do. Good or bad, good or bad. And if you don't want to watch it on YouTube, but you think that's your only option, no. Find us on all podcast platforms and follow us there. You can download the audio-only episodes and listen to them on your way to freaking work, baby.
Oh my God!
This is Earbuds.
All right, so this is a big old bonus episode of Earbuds. Now, typically, of course, our show is of two butt cheeks, which are intersecting, right? Put up your butt cheeks, everyone, because he brings what he likes, I bring what I like. Sometimes those things intersect, sometimes they don't. This is a bonus episode where something new has come out, something of note. For the show and for us. Now, I was thinking of a name for the segment if we do these regularly.
Okay.
The only one I could come up with, it's something that appeals to both of us, that draws us both in, and it includes our names, our initials.
Okay.
Joey and Landon. So I was thinking of calling it JL Bait.
Well done. I tip my hat to you, sir. Today you won the internet, sir.
Yes. Here's all the internet for today. Here you go. No. I did let that one cook though. So last night I was cooking and I came up with that little, but we will come up with something for it.
Yeah, I think. But basically, the idea is if an Earbud alumnus puts out a new record of note.
Yes. Yeah, we can't do it for all of them.
No,
well, maybe we will.
Especially now that we're bi-weekly, as you guys know, fans of the show know, every 2 weeks we will put out a new Earbuds episode. These bonus, the JL Bait episodes, these might come out in the off week.
Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah. So, that all being said, we're looking at Green Day's Earbud alumnus.
Yes. We've covered Dookie. We talked about Dookie very early on. So we've gone, and that was their first record.
One of their first.
It depends on how you look at it. First major release, maybe.
Yeah, their first big one for sure.
I don't know what your thoughts are on Kerplunk.
It's a fine album, but it's...
I just mean...
It's not
Dookie is
of note like Dookie is.
Okay, so we'll go with that. So we're now looking at their 14th album, succeeding Father of All. I can't even say it.
Father of All.
Father of All. ... Okay. So this came out. You know when it came out. So, and I just want to read this quote for you via their media outlets. Saviors is an invitation into Green Day's brain, their collective spirit as a band, and an understanding of friendship, culture, and legacy of the last 30-plus years.
Wow.
It's been 30 years since Dookie came out this year.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, it's been 20 years since American Idiot came out. Somehow, it's been longer between now and American Idiot than it was between when Dookie and American Idiot were. Those are only 10 years apart.
That's crazy. Because, especially around the time when American Idiot came out, they had kind of been on hiatus. They were broken up by some people's recollection of the thing. But they were certainly on a hiatus, and then they came back with American Idiot, and people were like, this old band is coming out with a new... And then I found out this week, Billy was like 32 when American Idiot came out.
That makes me sick.
Because they're 50 now.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I was 32 when that came out. I was like, but why did I think it was like some old band, like your dad's favorite band just came back then?
I sort of had that with alumnus Blink-182 with their self-titled, where I was trying to, and I was like, oh, they were 27 when they did that.
Yeah. It just makes you sad.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So yes, he was in his early 30s, and that was, but to us, we were around 10, 11.
Yeah.
So big album for us.
Which is also crazy. But,
yeah. Because I'm like, it can't have been that long ago, but I'm like, I guess we were just children.
Yeah.
It's just been part of our lives for so long.
Keep talking. I need to fix the camera.
They're sort of for us now, they have become old enough where their shirts are sold at Target. It's like Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Green Day, and then for some reason Cookie Monster in the men's section. A lot of shirts that say "Me Likey Cookie" for men that are like 45. So that's where they fit in. So they are now. If they weren't back then, now they certainly are an old band. They're kind of our Rolling Stones. Wouldn't you say?
Kind of. Which I just heard someone on a podcast talking about the Rolling Stones. Maybe it was Billy Joe on a podcast. I've been consuming all of the media around this album. And they were talking about like recent Rolling Stone stuff, and they were like, "Hey, if there's a couple good new Rolling Stone songs on a new album, that's fine for me." Where it's like, I know the album's not going to be 10 out of 10,
right?
But if we get two or three new all-timers, that's great.
That's exciting for them. I have no connection to the Rolling Stones.
Well, yeah, I just mean I think we might be moving into that territory with Green Day.
That's what I mean. That for them, that's great for the Rolling Stones, and now for us, for Green Day, that might be what we're looking at.
Yeah,
I mean, not with this album in particular.
It seems, and I mean, I think this album in particular is a lot of the media surrounding it, and what they've been talking about is that it's not. For some reason, it does feel like a kind of like Green Day is back,
right? More
than Father of All, which came out right before the COVID pandemic happened. Sorry, the plandemic.
Thank you.
Was concocted to make sure no one listened to Father of All. Which I also didn't realize that was 2020 when that came out.
Yeah,
I thought that was much older.
So did I. I was worried that it was, when I looked it up, I was worried it was going to be like at least 5 years old, and that time was slipping into the future. But I was happy to see it only came out. It's only been an album cycle.
Yeah, it's kind of a normal album cycle, which is...
I'd say on the shorter end. I feel like a lot of bands now are maybe going like just 4 or 5 years, bands that just kind of put out stuff when they feel like it.
Well, because it was Revolution Radio in 2016, right?
Yeah, which feels like forever ago, but I guess it was 8 years ago.
That to Father of All is 4 years. And then Father of All to this is like 3 years, I guess, technically.
There was I think their longest may have been American Idiot to 21st Century, which was maybe 4 to 5 years, but I think it's because it was such a big album. Yeah. They just had to keep going on tour. And so who can blame them?
No.
Our boys in black and red. Then, you had... So from Dookie, we're not going to go through all that.
No.
But the next big one probably is then American Idiot.
Of course.
And then you've got a few things. Uno, Dos, Tres. Revolution.
21st Century was pretty big, I think.
It was.
They were still riding the high of American Idiot. People were still intrigued by what they were doing.
I've seen some people that say they don't like this one.
It's a great album to me.
Yeah, I listened to it a couple months ago. I was listening to all of it, and I think it's great.
Like it? Oh. Yeah, I think it's great.
I think it's like American Idiot Part 2 almost. It's sort of like not hitting the same high for me, just in terms of what that was. And this is also an era of the band that people just have checked. If they've checked out by American Idiot, there's no pulling them back in.
No.
But for people of probably our age or that still like them, people that like them no matter what, I guess.
Yeah.
That was a big album. So 21st Century was big. Then they kind of got weird in 2012, I guess.
Yeah, they did Uno, Dos, and Tres and Cuatro, the documentary about the making of. Which I contend, which we've talked about, that amongst those three, there is a damn good album, maybe their best album. If you were to put it into one 10-track album, 10 or 11 tracks. Now,
Maybe, yeah.
I've never done such a thing. Maybe we will someday.
Yeah, I looked at someone's list that was about 14 songs, and there were definitely some on theirs that I would not include. But
that's what's interesting. I think different people like Green Day for different reasons.
yeah, when they're like, there's multiple people can say there's a great album in here, but they're not picking all the same songs.
Yeah, which I think is a fun...
Kill the DJ or whatever.
Which I think is a fun exercise that maybe we could do someday. But... So that no one really tunes into those either. There's some good
I think
tracks,
there's just too much.
Yeah.
It just feels like here's a bunch of stuff we're making. It's kind of like a lot of hip hop artists now. Like Drake will put out like a 25 song, and you're just like, well, you're kind of making it seem like it's easy and you don't care.
For him, I think that is true.
I think it is, but it's like if you put out 10 songs, you can go like, I crafted these.
Yeah.
If you're just putting out 2 hours of music every year,
it's all kind of sounds the same.
Yeah. Revolution Radio, which I went back and listened to this week, and I always forget that it is good.
Yeah.
I think it just came out at a point where I wasn't the radio on fire. I don't know. It's just kind of like, okay. And then they're trying to do some stuff, but like I listened to at least half of it. I was like, yeah, I like all these.
Yeah. There's a couple on there that are like, all right, I know you're maybe trying a little too hard or not hard enough. It might be like
I think it is.
Troubled times. Like we live in troubled times. And you're like,
this is where I also started to worry that everything they're putting out sort of sounds the same. Every song sort of sounds the same.
But also on that album, the opening song, Somewhere Now, and then Forever Now, the closer that kind of goes back into that. That's some of my favorite stuff. And I like Bang Bang. I like the song Revolution Radio.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff on that album as well.
But with Bang Bang going into, I mean, do you have anything to say about Father of All? I tried to listen to some of it yesterday. I don't hate it. It's just... It's not really what I listen to anyway, so
I like it.
For what it is.
I like it for what it is. I think when you hear Billy say that the song Father of All is one of his favorite songs he's ever written, and he was listening to a lot of Motown at the time, and he was kind of trying to do the history of rock and roll in one pop album or punk rock album. You kind of see that, okay, maybe this is more of a concept album and they were just trying to like speed through some different genres within rock is how I kind of look at it. I really like a lot of the songs on there, but I know that it's not their best, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, there's something like on here it says, Billy Joe says, rock and roll has become so tame. I feel like there's a lot of that with them where I'm like, what are you talking I don't really understand some of the, like, that stuff around that album was like, no trap beats.
Yeah.
No Swedish songwriters. It's like, just calm down.
I mean, I think, he said that, like, they wanted to just do, like, a garage rock album, but it's the most produced album that they've made for, somehow.
Which is fine. I couldn't really tell you anything off that album. But if they played some of them live, if they picked some favorites and they play them live, that's fine. But it's just weird to me, I guess, getting into why we're all here today.
Yeah.
With Savior. Or Saviors, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. Everyone's saying this is their return to form and like they're back. They've never really stopped putting out stuff.
Yeah.
They've always been on an album cycle that's normal. And like Revolution Radio was kind of that already. If you think of Uno Dos Tres as sort of off the beaten path for them. They did Revolution Radio. Even Father of All isn't like some crazy.
No.
It's not like a pop album. And now people are saying they're back. I think it's maybe because they put out a single that has the word American in it.
I think that's mostly it. Which, again, for Father of All, they said, we don't want to be political.
Yeah.
Which I think was the smart move, because I think they did kind of become like, well, they're our protest band. So they obviously are, which is also funny now when they play American Idiot and say, I'm not a part of a MAGA agenda. Everyone loses their mind as if the song originally wasn't against the same people. It's just funny that no one knows anything for some reason. But regardless of that.
Well, because they weren't that until American Idiot.
Right.
They had several of their best albums before that.
Yeah.
Not doing that. So then they do become this thing.
Right.
And it's like all of a sudden they care, or I don't know.
But then that's all people want from them for some reason. So then it is the sort of we live in troubled times. Revolution Radio is kind of like that. I mean, their best version of politically motivated songs are the ones that are just kind of pointing out hypocrisy or the sort of craziness of living in the modern era. The worst versions of those songs, which I've talked about not liking when Descendants did it, or some of the Bad Religion stuff where it's just like, this is bad and I don't agree with it. The
thing that I think they do is fine, where I'm like, okay, Descendants has one of those.
Yeah.
Now they have all this kind of recently, a lot of their singles have all been about like Trump is bad. And it's like, okay. But like that, they'll do one. So it's like, okay, I get it. Or Bad Religion has a few. But when Green Day has a lot of songs like that, there's only so much they can say. It's sort of the same thing with bands like Anti-Flag or anything before they got in trouble. But every single album is all about, they all sound the same, about the same agenda, like American agenda stuff, which you know what you're getting if you like that. But I don't know. Sometimes it feels like the well has run dry for some 45-year-olds that have been doing that for 2 decades.
Which Billy talks about a lot for this album, saying, you know, it means, he said in some interview, it means something different when a 20-year-old says, like, down with the state or whatever. It means something different when a 50-year-old does it. So they tried to, like, they still have angers and fears and whatever towards that. But you also have a full life of seeing, well, some things have to be this way. Or he even said, like, you find some empathy with a family member that has gone down the wrong path and believes something that's wrong. But you kind of have to try to see it from
understand how they got to that point.
Yeah. And stuff like that. So it is interesting knowing all of that going into this album and seeing maybe where some of the lyrics point to stuff like that is interesting. But also on the face of it, you just have to listen to the album and let her rip, as they say.
So going into this album, we'll start going through it. But were you excited when this was announced?
I love Green Day. They're probably my favorite band of all time. So I'm always excited. They have put, since Father of All, they've put out a couple of songs that just like singles for different things. One, Pollyanna, Holy Toledo. These are just like some singles that they put out for movies or commercials or something. I don't even know what the hell they're for. They're kind of good, but I never listen to them because I just need an album. So I was excited to get an album. And then the first single dropped, and I said, some of it I don't like. Okay. Lyrically. Musically, I think it's cool. Of course, I'm talking about the title, or not the first track. The American Dream is Killing Me. Yeah. But it did feel, I said, okay, I'm a little like, it is a little like we've just been talking about of like, oh, we're kind of going down this road again, which is fine, but not necessarily super exciting for me. But I like the song. Every time I listen to it, I like it more. And then I said, and a couple more singles came out, and I said, now I'm getting excited. It sounds like they've kind of it sounds like a band playing songs. Father of All had a lot of, for whatever they say, it feels the least like an actual band together in a room than probably any of their stuff. So I think this sounds like the band I love playing music in a room together. It's obviously super polished and produced, but it still has that energy of a...
Yeah, the last new album we talked about, I guess, to start the show was the new Blink-182 album.
Yeah.
This feels completely different to where I'm like, I feel like they're in the same room writing these songs together, and it kind of is just them.
Yeah.
And it seems it is produced. There's like so many engineers and stuff.
Sure.
But that's coming with the territory of being one of the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
And you can do that because it's 2023.
Yeah.
2024. Well, not when they recorded it. But it just has a little bit more of that energy to it. I think you're a bigger fan of them than I am, but that's not even maybe a little bit.
Okay.
I just feel like I'm a little more critical of them at times.
Probably.
Should we get into it? I mean,
I will say too, I was excited to see Rob Cavallo producing again. I think the last one he did was American Idiot. And I think that was maybe the last time well, that's not necessarily true. Never mind. But I think there's a reason they went back with him for this to kind of, for whatever, I don't think it's really a return to form because I don't think they went anywhere as far as form, but it does feel like maybe a new sense of urgency or energy that I think.
There's a lot of reviews of, I don't think people understand what they've been doing just because they've checked out for a bit.
Right.
I'm like, because they're talking about like school shootings at one point. I'm like,
they had a
they
whole
did.
album
It's called
about it.
like
Bang Bang is from the perspective of a school shooter.
It's crazy. It's one of their best songs.
Yeah, and it's 8 years ago.
But yeah, the first single came out for me. I think we should get into it because that's the first song that came out.
Yep.
We'll go from there.
Okay.
So this is Saviors from Green Day.
And this will be a nice short episode.
Yes. And oh gosh, the American Dream is killing me.
Get up! Get up! Sit down!
Get up! Get up! Sit down!
Hold on, let's hear this.
Okay.
I knew the first time I heard the single, I was like, yeah, we're back. And then I heard that and I said, oh no, Joey's not going to like this song. Don't bring up TikTok, right, buddy?
Yeah, I do not like, and I know this is weird because like I'll listen to an old song and they're like, I was talking to you on the phone.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was like 1930, I would be mad about that because I'd be like, why do you have to talk about some new technology?
Yeah. A phone isn't going to be around forever.
Phones aren't going to be around forever. There's a lot of mentions of things that are like freaking Instagram. I'm like, TikTok and taxes. This song, to me, I listened to it. I think It was before the full song came out. Is when they like teased it.
They just put out like the chorus.
And I said, okay. Like I knew what it was.
Sure.
I knew what it sounded like. I got it. I don't necessarily like we were talking about when people complain about, well, they're rich. What do they have to complain about? Like just because they've been put in a situation. Then with this idea of the American dream is killing me in the year 2024, it's like people have been using that George Carlin quote for the last 40 years of it's called the American dream because you got to be asleep to believe it.
Right.
That's when I'm like, you're not saying anything, especially them when I'm like, when you are a millionaire, I'm like,
so you do think that way.
The American dream is you're living it. The three of you are living it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't need to hear about you saying something about like TikTok and taxes. You are the 1%. I will find you.
Well, do you think they're not speaking for themselves necessarily, but for
I do. That's
for
why
the working man?
I think they care about
or woman.
I think they care about people in that way. They're like, we're one of you, and they happen to be successful. But I think they do try to.
They try to give voice.
That's what I'm like. They're not just saying this stuff, but it just sounds like it's kind of pulling on American Idiot because of the title. The American Dream is killing me.
The word America.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just like it's very general right now, and there's so much going on that it's like, what are you adding to the conversation?
Yeah.
And even on top of that is it sounds just like a Green Day song, where this could be on any of their records.
Isn't that the point?
From the past 20 years. I just mean all the instrumentation always sounds the same to me.
Yeah, but then they try something new, and you're like, don't do that.
I never said that.
Not
I
you.
did about, Father of all.
Yeah.
It was like, everyone's like, they're back to, and I just was like, they never stopped doing this.
Yeah.
So I was getting it built up as, and I don't know, I like American Idiot because I feel like it's a little darker and a little more urgent about what it's saying.
What's funny about American Idiot is I fought
more clever.
And I fought someone in comment sections about this on the AV Club once a while ago before it became an AI generated website. But I said something about Green Day being, they said something about we've come a long way since the effing George Bush administration. Like they're not doing jack shit anymore or whatever. And I was like, to me, that album is more nuanced than whatever that guy wants them to be saying now. Mm-hmm. Like that actually is more nuanced than certainly any of this. And speaking about a more nuanced conservative wing of the country. Like now it's what they've been engineering their whole party to be for like decades.
Yeah.
But in the lowest common denominator way possible of where like it's us versus them in the most meaningless way, really, when you look at it. But like, I think that album had more to say back then and now than anyone, certainly on the AV Club commentariat, but I think than anyone is saying still.
I think it's because of the big single being American Idiot,
yeah,
which is maybe one of the weaker songs on that album.
Yeah.
And maybe that's also because I've heard it a bunch.
Yeah.
But when you get past that point on the album, being the first track, like there's so much more going on there.
Yeah.
But they have become the political band that's sort of like doing that. But like I think there are bands doing it more interestingly, and there is just the sort of the side of it where I'm like, maybe punk rock failed. Like all these, like even like bands like Bad Religion and stuff, we talk about them and they're constantly singing about this better future. And you're like, yes, yeah. Kyoto now, baby.
Yeah.
And things have just gotten worse. So you've got them railing against this system, and it just all sounds the same. I think they pulled some of the weakest tracks to be their singles. I only listened to the first 2 that came out, I think. Mm-hmm. And even the second one, I was a little like, which I think is the next one, but I was like,
That's interesting.
So I feel like the album's not on a great start for me.
Yeah.
But as you said, as I've listened to it more, I like it more, but I think it's just because it sounds like a Green Day song.
Yeah.
Where this could come on, and it could have been from
Revolution Radio.
Radio, 21st Century. It could have been on any of the trilogy stuff.
Yeah.
I think he wrote it during Father of All. Is that correct?
He wrote it in 2018, he said, and again, they didn't want to be political, so they shelved it. But
that's why I'm like, so this song is like 5 years old by the time they put it out.
Yeah.
I think there's better stuff happening on the album.
I think as a table setter,
I think to have it be as your single, your first single that comes out.
Yeah. And the first track of the song, I think it's a pretty solid opening.
Yeah.
I like the pre-chorus. This is what I like when they do stuff like this, where like the verses, take them or leave them. The chorus is catchy enough, but like you said, it's kind of unoriginal. But we are not home, are we not home? Mm-hmm. God damn, I am so grateful, forever faithful to the American dream is killing me. And then we are not well, are we not well? Mm-hmm. Cracked up into the wild, we're pedophiles, for the American dream is killing me. It's just, I like that when they do, like, that feels a little more clever to me, of like, we are not home, are we not home?
Yeah.
That made me think more than any of the other lyrics in the song. Like, yeah, that kind of is how it feels to be in America right now.
I like,
I don't feel good about being American, but
I like, we are not well, are we not well?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
I like that more than My Country Under Siege, which sounds like, to me, maybe someone in middle school being like, I pledge like ultimate allegiance to the flag of the United Hate of AmeriCorps.us. So there's some, I don't know. It's fine. It's catchy.
I think if they play this one live, I'm screaming every word. It's one of those two where you're like, take it or leave it on the album, but when it's live, I'm probably like,
there's a couple of those on here where
American game is gooping me.
I'm excited to pay StubHub $500. Should we look, Ma?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Look, Ma, no brains.
Go with those! Get up!
Maybe I got time and I'll barely come. I defy the science on the missing link.
Burning.
Oh God, I think I might lose my skull. I ain't got no brains. Goner, I don't feel no pain. I'm stupid. Ha ha! 'Cause I'm special and I don't need your help. Don't panic, don't panic. Don't go, mama, oh.
fuck about this. We almost listened to the whole song.
Well, it's such a shorty.
Yeah, this was the second single, right?
Yeah.
I kind of went back on not liking it.
Yeah, that's
I think it's
crazy.
one of the best ones on the album.
Yeah, I was going to say. When I heard this, I said, oh, we might be getting an all-timer.
It sounds like a Green Day song.
But
and I know what that means.
That's good. We like Green Day.
Yeah, we do.
There's a good way of doing it and a bad way of doing it, and only they can do both.
We're loving Green Day again.
This is the type of shit that gets me hype.
Here's what I like.
Fam. Yeah, that's good.
There's some little that I was like, that's a little. Now that's some old school Green Day.
Yeah,
that's some stuff you're not gonna hear them doing that on your Revolution radios.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do. But
I know they harmonize every single song.
Skull.
I'm with Stupid and I'm All by Myself.
That's just funny.
These are good lyrics.
I like this song. This is kind of like Bang Bang, where it's from the perspective of a QAnon guy who just is so stupid. Which is funny that when he's like, you have to have empathy for your family who might believe something else, and then you play this song for them.
He's like, you're an idiot.
It's too late now for my suicide.
Mm-hmm. He likes to, in both this song and the first song, he is saying, there's no point in unaliving myself. We're past that point.
We're past the point of unaliving myself. Yeah. He does love saying suicide.
Yeah.
He's one of the best to say it.
There's a way you use your voice. People are going to love this episode of our show.
Don't know much about history because I never learned how to read. Drop out, I'm a knucklehead. I like when he says knucklehead.
Mm-hmm.
Drop out, I'm a knucklehead. Sick boy and I shit the bed.
Sick boy and I shit the bed.
This is, I mean, it sounds almost exactly like Let Yourself Go from Uno, Dos, or Trey. I can't remember which. Yeah. But to me, that's an all-timer Green Day song.
Let yourself go. Oh.
To me, this is a great 1 and 2. Boom, boom. Okay. You get your sort of higher concept, whatever. They do the little string section. You get a little flavor of that, which they, ever since American Idiot, they try to do that again, of like a 5 or 6 minute song that has different movements. Even in Trey, I think they had one, and even Revolution Radio, like I said, Forever Now kind of does that at the end, where it's 3 different songs and it goes back to the opening song, which I like. They do it well. I'm not saying I don't like it. With American Dream Is Killing Me, they kind of try to do, or not try to do it, but they add the little string section of like
people on the street,
which I like.
Unemployed and obsolete. Well, I read something from Father of All where he said, I realized that I hate long songs. So, which is funny because A, you did that to yourself. B, it's some of the best stuff you ever put out.
Yeah.
C, they're not really long songs as much as they are suites of many different parts. But I feel like maybe there is that we want to get those parts into the song. Yeah. But I don't want the song to be longer than like 3.5 minutes. Yeah. Look Ma's 2.5.
Yeah. And it's just a good little barn burner of a punk song. It's one of my favorites on the album.
It is more rocking than a lot of the the punk rock songs on the trilogy were sort of really stripped back. And it kind of seemed for a while that's the route they were going, which I don't have anything against, but I like hearing them get a little fast again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this song. To me, there's a couple all-timers on this album.
And I can't wait till we get to them.
We did just now.
Hearing these two, I was a little in the camp of I know what I'm getting here. I don't feel like I'm happy that I'm getting a new Green Day album, but it wasn't like, oh boy, I'm ready to sink my teeth into this.
I had the opposite reaction.
That's awesome.
That's a great show for you
This
guys.
is a great show. I don't know if I'm going to have any insane, like we should take Anthem Part 3 off of the album things going on.
Oh, there's some cuts I'm going to make.
Okay.
From this.
Well, even before... Well,
we're about to get to one.
Bobby Sox.
What are you thinking when you hear this?
This, I'm happy to hear.
Interesting.
I'll explain why.
When the first line.
No. I like when he says rerun. Because a lot of lyrics could have fit there.
I love Weezer.
What? Damn, can you imagine?
That's crazy. Yeah.
I wrote this song for Landon. They should do a rock band game for this one. All right. Look, this is I just want to address this because we got critiqued on this. You are to listen to the album on your own.
It's free. You can go on YouTube
can
right
do
now
that.
and listen to the song first.
They put all the songs, basically every band. If you want to, you don't really have to worry about, I don't have a streaming service.
No.
Or buy the album if you like it.
Sure.
That's the point. Because you're like, I like the album. You guys didn't even play the songs. Well, then you should have it. The point is, we're just going to play a little snippet of it.
We're just getting you in the headspace
so
of
we
the
can talk
song.
about it.
Yes. And if there's a specific part we want to talk about, we'll play that part.
Does that make sense?
You are not listening to the album and also two guys listening to it with you.
That's too long. We can't do that. I think we'd get in trouble.
Yeah. We're already not supposed to do this.
I
We're
don't
getting
care.
flagged for copyright left and right. Okay?
It doesn't matter how many people. We're not getting any money from YouTube.
We never will.
Every video we put up is flagged.
So listen to it on your own. You're here for a little snippet of the song to get us into the commentary portion, which is what we're about to do right now. Bobby Sox, go.
You're here for a good time, not a long time. This song, a little repetitive, but like I said at the beginning, kind of, it's just a different feel than the first two songs. That's why I said, okay, I can get into. I like when they do these sort of softer. I don't even know if it's softer.
I mean, he's screaming on the
it's kind of like
chorus. It's kind of
rockabilly
cool.
a little bit. They have that. They like to pretend they're driving their Cadillacs down the 101 with their big old bufandas on their hair. Bufanda is I think French for scarf, but I'm using it to mean their big black hair is combed back. Okay.
Did you see the video that they released?
No. I didn't listen to any songs after the first two until the album came out, and then I just listened to the album.
Okay. Well, on release day, they also released a video for this song.
I saw that, and I was busy.
Yeah. It's just kind of, I mean, it's just a fun, they're just rocking out at a party.
I'll check it out.
It's just kind of a throwback, and that's how this song feels, is just like it's just kind of a jam, like a throwback
I need to check
jam.
it out. It's like they did.
Do you want to be my girlfriend?
But you would cut it off the album.
Yeah, it's gone. This, to me, sounds more in line with the trilogy that no one likes.
I'm not saying I love it, and I don't.
I'm glad you do like it. Oh
no, I just want to be clear. I wouldn't cut it off the album necessarily, but I kind of get it within the first Vorus curse, and that means chorus verse. But
yeah, it's a little repetitive for not much.
And then
substance.
Is it playing off of
his bisexuality,
or is it supposed to be just two different points of view, or just like, hey, you can like whoever you want?
I think maybe all of the above.
I wonder if they're gonna get some sort of weird flack for this song, even though this is something they've done since their first album, and something that has been addressed. But we talked about with Dookie, I think we talked about the Replacements, who I've gone back and listened to, which we'll probably cover on the show sometime. But they have a song called Androgynous.
Yes.
Which is very in line with probably their thinking and, influence growing up. So
I'm sure. Well,
and isn't it just nice that you can just have a song like this and who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, Landon doesn't want it to exist.
It's not that I don't, like I said, the more I listen to it, the more I like it.
That was for me when I got to this one. Initially, I was like, I like that it's different. I don't really care for the lyrics.
Yeah.
Just because, like, do you want to be my girl? He's like 53. He's been married for like 40 years.
Yeah.
So I don't. And then watch reruns.
I think it's probably the most well-trod territory in punk music of like, let's sit around and be losers
and
together.
We've already hit the peak of that.
Yeah. I mean, they've done it all on Dookie.
Yeah.
And Descendants
and
have
we said,
it.
I have Descendants at home, and your parents are... No, hold on. Let me let this cook. Your parents be like, we have Descendants at home, and it's Bobby Socks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What does Bobby Socks mean? Do you know?
No.
I was going to look it up, but I didn't.
We used to have sock hops in elementary school. It was kind of like the 50s again.
That's sick.
So they have all this children come in our socks and dance around the dirty gym. I don't know if that's related to this.
Yeah, I don't think.
I should ask our old principal, Mr. Smalls. Anyways, he was nice. He was not a one-eyed bastard.
Okay.
Why can't I hear it? Okay.
Na 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 na. I'm gonna start a fight. I wanna start a fight. Oh, so what? Oh. Ooh, I like this. Daddy is a friend of mine.
This is gonna. If they don't play this live at every show, Trey's got an eye patch on. Some bullshit.
Bada bang, bada bang, bada boo. Bada boo. Memories.
No.
You know I have a thing about that.
Yeah.
He does not pass the test. I do like.
You like?
I like when he wants people to be dead.
Glad that you all dead.
It's just always funny to me. Throughout all of their albums, they usually have one or two where they're like just talking about wanting someone to have been dead. It always makes me laugh.
They're good.
I like when they write a song about just hating someone.
I wish I could see what someone had to write about. Bada bing, bada boom.
Maybe I can.
But my Genius app isn't working the way it should. I just want to know what they said.
Bada bing, bada boom. This is a phrase that means it's taken care of, mostly used by gangsters and media, and was also used in The Godfather.
Okay. Well, they're right.
Yeah. What do you think of One-Eyed Bastard?
I like it.
Yeah.
The more I listen to this album, it's a catchy little number.
Yeah.
I like when they say, boom.
Yeah. For me, this
is where your resequencing comes in.
Yeah, I'm probably taking this one off too. Just because
You're taking it off.
I don't typically like a pirate song. When you're doing it, and they do it, they've done it in their career. this
You think
the
this is-
swingy ding chunga dunga chunga dunga chunga. I mean, it sounds like
You think this is pirate rock?
yeah. Even I mean, not literally, but it's kind of got
You
the
keep calling it a pirate song.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe that's just because TikTok, everyone thinks they're Vikings now.
Yeah, that's
So every
probably
time you
it.
try to watch a video, it's like, "Oh, hands, bite your dick."
But even like Holiday
Uh-huh.
from American Idiot is one of my least favorite songs
No!
on the album. Like I like it, but it's just
We are not the same.
This is where it's funny. Green Day, maybe collectively our most favorite band. We like for different reasons. Doesn't that illuminate our whole show in a way?
Even when we are in the butt cheeks, which are inverted,
Yeah.
there's disagreement.
Hey, and don't get me wrong. Again,
I love Holiday.
I like it. It's just probably my least on the
It's
album.
almost kind of like there's something sinister about it.
Yeah.
I like their dark stuff. I'm
Well,
kind of
I do too, but that's
dirty,
not really.
nasty freak. I
don't know. To me, that song, and I know we're not talking about that right
he
now.
says
but
"Seek Heil to the President Gas Man."
yeah. And when they'd play it live, I'm just like, on holiday. And then the lights go, turn out the lights.
The representative from Trump's MAGA universe has the floor.
And he has the little spotlight.
Yeah.
So he's looking around. The president of where are we? Cedar
Quad
Rapids.
Cities.
The president of Quad Cities. How has the floor?
Woo, that's us. An area.
Say Kyle to you, you assholes.
I say, oh. I know you say your show's 3 hours long, but a lot of it is a lot of call and response.
I love that shit.
I say, hey, hey.
I love it. It could be 3 hours of just that, and I'd say this was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Because he's mad the whole time, too.
Get up.
Get up. Sit down.
Anyway, One-Eyed Bastard. Again, the more I listen to it, the more I say, nah, it's catchy as hell.
It's catchy. Here's I think why I like it is because there's not really an agenda to it. They're not trying to be like, I have to say something about America.
No, it's just about hating someone
just
and
like-
wanting revenge.
And he gets it done.
Yeah, bada bing, bada boom.
And I like that they all say it, a phrase that is stupid. Bada bang, bada boom.
Well, it is also, it's just
kinda
a
funny.
fun song and
Right.
funny song. Like, it's just, sometimes a song can just be fun. It doesn't have to mean anything.
Yeah.
I think there's a better version of that idea later on.
I just like that. I mean, what
I like it.
what's your favorite Green Day album? Did we might have done this. but-
Nimrod.
Okay, yeah. And I like Insomnia.
It's his favorite. He doesn't even know. I like Insomniac too. It's probably number 2 for me.
It's actually number 2 of their albums too. If you're starting
If you
from
don't count
Dookie.
the first 3.
But
yeah.
it's just crazy. But maybe we'll never know who likes what. My whole phone just restarted. That's our dilemma.
This is my
Welcome to my
problem.
It's not an invitation. This is my dilemma, and it's my obsession. I was sober, now I'm drunk again. I'm in trouble and in love again. I don't wanna be a dead man walking. I don't wanna be a dead man walking.
He's got the crunch pedal. Chunky guitar tones. We told you.
Welcome to my nightmare, where dreams go to disappear. Sit around and read, feeling like a lamb. Strange days are here again.
Listen. Keep that in mind.
Weirder.
Here's to all my problems.
We'll go to the bridge.
I was sober and I'm drunk again. I discovered and in love again. I don't wanna be in debt.
Whoa. Turn that shit up. Not that much.
That's awesome. Well, that's my dilemma. So, yeah. I'd take this one off.
You're stupid.
No.
Okay.
I like this song. I was sober, now I'm drunk. Some of the lyrics aren't I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not the best.
Yeah, but to me, this is another all-timer.
Wow.
When I hear this, when I heard it the first time, I got pumped.
So you're like, yeah, these lyrics aren't that good. This is one of their best songs ever.
Yeah. Well, not ever, but just like in the pantheon, I'd throw it in the top hundo.
Yeah. It would probably make it in there. In the top 100 Green Day songs.
For me, it's in the top of this album. The top, probably top 5.
I don't like the beginning of the song, which is, I figured was going to be different from you. I don't like this is my dilemma.
It's not even...
Just get into it. I don't need you to be on stage with an acoustic guitar and he starts doing it and you're like, oh, here it is.
Why?
And behind him, then you hear, doom.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Just play the song.
You're insane. I love it.
Just play the song.
I think it's great. I've never been drunk. And every time the chorus hits, I want to scream at the top of my lungs.
I was sober, now I'm drunk again.
I'm like, yeah, me too. I've never had a problem in my life.
But I think there's a better version of that later too.
Yeah, probably.
That we'll get to.
I just think, and then the is like a cool, for some reason it feels a little different than something we've got from them before. Just that specific part of the, it just feels a little more rock and roll.
Yeah, I like it. I like the heaviness of it.
Just the lyrics, I don't know if we're ever getting the best lyrics from him again.
No.
Unfortunately. I mean, I love the guy. There's a lot of smart, funny, good stuff on here. I just mean, for like, how many albums? 14? This is their 14th album.
Mm-hmm.
For 11, he had the best lyrics I've ever heard. There's got to be a certain point where he's kind of tapped out.
Welcome to my nightmare where dreams go to disappear. Sit around in rehab feeling like a lab rat. It's not even that it's about an actual problem he had. I get that that's...
Yes.
I'm not saying...
No, I mean, it's a very personal song.
I don't
to
believe him.
Yeah.
I'm just... Yeah, a lot of these lyrics just seem very surface level.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
But it's like, and then I've addressed that, and on to the next thing. But I don't need the little piano or whatever opening thing of just have the whole song do that, I guess. Because then now we're getting into these and here's the little piano part.
Do you like the bridge?
Yep.
I love that one. I like when they go into that, yeah. But just the, I don't even know musically what it's called, but the
that's what I like when they pull in these. It's like a lot of older rock that they're pulling from.
Yeah.
a lot of stuff from like the 50s and 60s.
Old Brit pop is
Old
what he
Brit
said.
pop. That's a good way to put it. Even, I don't know. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Something that would maybe come to the surf club, the surf
Ballroom.
ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa back in the day. They're just a couple greasers with their bufandas, and they're cruising down the avenue. So I like the sound of it, lyric-wise. Mm-hmm. Figure yourself out. But what do I know? It's not like I was born in 1981.
She's gonna bang her head like 1981. She's gonna bang her head like 1981.
So long, farewell. We should go on tour with them.
She's gonna bang her head like 1981. She's throwing punches to the beat, to the sound of cable TV, and she'll never see the world the same.
The same.
She is a cold war in my head, and I am East Berlin. Coffee and cyanide for
Listen to that bass.
disgrace. If this is not a test, we got work put in the grave.
Wait, listen to that. Come on. Did you hear that bass?
So long, farewell. She's gonna bang her head like 1981.
Well.
Maybe they still do have it.
Yeah. Maybe they do.
What do you think of this? This is pretty much meaningless song.
Crimes from another time, champagne and party lines. God bless the end of times. Pain, commies, and cocaine. Slam dance and acid rain. We live the dream for 15 minutes of fame. Which, of course, is Mr. Warhol's famous phrase.
Often misattributed,
Oh.
according to
Maybe
here.
I should have hit the genius. Oh, crap. Nowadays, with the rise of memes and TikTok stars, it seems that we have achieved that reality. I like how it says a reference to a quote commonly misattributed to Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
Well, then tell me who it's from.
Yeah. This song rocks to me.
Yeah, I do not like She's Gonna Bang Her Head like
It's
it's 1981.
Yeah.
I hate that because it goes back to what I was talking about with these old men.
And just speak right into the microphone if you would.
About rock and roll is so safe these days. It's not like 1981 when we could bang our heads at a concert. Do you listen to music? There's music out there. There's rock bands. There's any genre you could want. There's genres that didn't even exist in 1981. Go to a show.
Do you think at all that maybe they are lamenting the fact that what's popular is not that?
That's not what they like.
Well, just the fact that in 1981, when MTV began, rock videos and rock was a popular type of thing.
They are the ones doing that stuff, and they are one of the biggest bands in the world.
Well, that's what I mean. But who are the big bands in the world?
1981?
No, right now.
Green Day. This band
That would be on the radio.
Oh crap! When's the last?
That's what I
listened
mean.
to the radio.
Well, I think that's more the point. Is like this was a time when
She's throwing punches to the beat, to the sounds of cable TV.
and I don't even necessarily think that it's a fond look back at 1981.
She's gonna bang her head like 1981.
I don't disagree that the lyrics are.
She's throwing punches to the beat, to the sound of cable TV. But even then, it's not like to like those bands. I don't know if you certainly need to lament that they weren't big. I think a lot of those whole things were underground. You're going to shows in basements of churches or people's houses, and this was how it was. You're in the punk house. You're in the slums.
Gilman Street.
You're on Gilman Street, the famous Gilman Street. And
where Green Day got their start.
yes, of course. And so it's like, what is 1981? She's gonna bang her head. Like it's 1981, and I know this is not probably literal. Of like she's gonna like there's something in here. I just don't like that. I don't. There's a lot. It's like the Bowling for Soup song, 1985 or whatever.
Yeah, cover song.
Yep, cover song. Actually, they changed some of the lyrics, but
yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Like I said, this song rocks. It's largely meaningless, but it's one of those where the music is so good that I don't care. You know?
Coffee and Cyanide for Lovers in Disgrace.
Like, I don't get it. I don't necessarily think it really means anything. It's like...
That's why the more I talk about it, I'm like, oh, I probably don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
So it's meaningless. But that, nevertheless, I persisted and said, I don't like that the whole chorus is she's going to bang her head like it's 1981.
I do think...
It makes them sound like when people said, oh, Green Day... The band of 3 50-year-old men wrote an album, and you played them this.
Yeah.
It's going to do to people what it's doing to me right now.
Turn them off. Here's what's great about the chorus, though. This is what saved it for me. Because before I actually listened to the song, I saw that the first lyric was she's going to bang her head like 1981. Because it popped up on my music app. And that's before it even started. I saw that, and I went... I kind of got a little like, but then the song plays and it rocks, and then the thing that Green Day can do to salvage it is have a little pipsqueak in the back go, "So long, farewell," and that makes it more than what it was a second before that happened to me.
And the bass line on this song is absolutely a rollicking good time.
I think Dirt and Cool are both doing some of their best work on this album.
Yeah,
like I feel like they haven't gotten to really rock out the last couple albums.
No, and I feel like Trey, he's like, and I went to here and I trained with world music drummer. Like I was here.
Oh, really?
I feel like he was not for this one specifically, but just in the course of their band. He's like, and I was like working on this type of drumming and stuff, and I was like, but none of that comes out.
Yeah, he never really.
When I say it all sounds
differently.
the same, it is. So I like this. Unfortunately, you may have to be cut off the album just because the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. This could easily be a B-side that I would play and be like, oh, this kind of rocks. Mm-hmm. And probably I would hear it and say, God, this should have been on the album instead of Bobby Socks.
Isn't that our dilemma? Is that you hear a song go, that sounds like a B-side. Then if you heard it as a B-side, you're like, well, why wasn't that on the album?
Yeah, because there's 5 other songs on the album that suck. Not in this case.
No. Hey, what time is it?
Bedtime.
Oh, Goodnight Adeline.
When I come around.
Can you feel my pain? Woo! Can you sing my sorrow? Here comes a better day.
Here comes a better day.
Nothing to do with tomorrow. I'm sick in bed again.
Sing it.
My head is under my pillow.
That's how I sleep.
My spirit's broken and my face is in the gutter singing. Goodnight, Adeline. You're gonna say goodbye and let it go. Sooner or later, whenever. Goodnight, baby. Let it go. Some days are holidays.
I hate that song.
Some days you call your mother. Some days you're sober,
This.
but you're still waking up with a hangover. I'm like a dead weight. I'm gonna meet my maker. I'll see you later when I get my shit together. Singing.
All right.
Sooner or later. What do you say?
Some days you're sober, but you're still waking up with a hangover. I think that's a more interesting take on I was sober, now I'm drunk again.
Yeah.
You can still wake up, basically feel like shit.
Mm.
You don't necessarily have to know what a hangover feels like.
Yeah.
Some days are holidays. Some days you call your mother. Some days you're sober, but you're still... He also rhymes mother with hangover.
Hangover.
Hangover. He
kind of gives mother a little something, and then he gives hangover
That's
a little
'cause
something. Where
he
you
just
can
says all his words weird.
Yeah.
Which is why we like him.
Yeah. I love
Call
his
your
voice on
mother.
this song when he does.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yep. It's great.
And that's what I mean. I feel like as I listen to this album, the things that are a little softer and a little more interesting, I like.
Yeah. I think, too, with his...
voice? Yeah.
Well, like, you listen to his...
voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
That album he did with Norah Jones of was it the Isley Brothers? No. Isley Brothers. Yeah, right? No, I need to look it up.
The Avett Brothers? I'm just thinking of brothers at this point. I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
And those are all just, like, kind of slow acoustic songs, and it's great.
Because then he's like, actually, this is what I grew up on.
Yeah.
His voice has gotten higher. He's one of those guys that the older he gets, his voice gets higher.
Yeah.
It's going to go through the stratosphere.
And I will find those.
He's going to look it up.
Norah Jones. Long time ago.
He's looking up Jessica
Everly
Jones.
Brothers. Is that what I said?
No.
Oh. Everly Brothers. Anyway.
It might have been.
No, I think I said the Isley Brothers.
You
anyway.
But I said the Avett Brothers, just for the record.
I think he does, and the slow songs that Green Day has done over the years of like, what's that one on 21st Century? Where it's like, I've been the gold card sent to you.
Did it go through?
I love that shit.
Sending all my love to you.
I love that.
That's when I like the song starts slow, and then it doesn't. It's just he's.
That's just a ballad.
Yep.
But it's beautiful, and he's great at singing it. I love that stuff. So this kind of feels...
my life. Send it. We should listen to that album.
I love that album. But no, I agree. This song is one of the standouts for me, too.
Top...
Because it does feel like there's...
5, top 3.
Unlike maybe the Bada Bing song and the 1981, this means something to him.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
That there's some emotion.
When they put songs on
and
that,
speak
like
right into that microphone.
it's our first episode. All I was gonna say was that when they have a song on the album called the Bada Bing song, they are kind of not phoning it in.
No, it's just one of the fun ones where even the guy that plays the keyboard, like that's behind the drum set, gets to sing on it. Or the guy that just comes out and plays saxophone like he's Papa Nihil.
Goodnight, Adeline. I'm going to drink my wine and let it go. Sooner or later, whatever, whenever. Good night, baby. Let it go.
And I think musically it's kind of interesting. Like the chorus is not just like, there's movements to the chorus. So like, you think it's this, and then it kind of does the jung 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 jung. Sooner or later, boo da boo boo.
It's quite a dynamic tune.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
This might be one of their Stone big bangers.
You're calling this an all-timer?
I think this might be an all-timer.
I might be with you, buddy.
So, we can't agree on one thing. Now listen to this shit. Coma City.
Coma City.
Coma City.
Children that play.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah. On Sunday.
Mike.
Shooting in the distance. It's on your face and ends with no resistance.
Coma City, Coma City.
Pull down the shade. Put up the windows and drink lemonade. Coma City.
Coma City.
Don't call the cops. Word on the street is they all quit their jobs. Gunshot in, shooting in the distance. It's on your face and ends with no resistance. Coma City.
Coma City, Coma City, Coma City. And we're jamming out here,
Yeah.
and I'm loving it.
Then they go into the chorus, and then my favorite part is when they just rock out for like the last 40 seconds. Do you know what I mean? This is what I mean. Trey finally gets to kind of rip a little bit.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, they even go into a new riff on the guitar where it's like... It's
Yeah,
coming
we're
up.
listening to it.
Listen to this. Watch this. And then
Yeah.
Blink-182 got in the room and said,
Someone put the flanger on.
You can actually phaser it so it sounds like shit by the end.
Everyone knows exactly which special effect you're using. But it's kind of cool. It's like,
yeah.
now they're like, oh, now it's trippy. Hey, who are you, freaking Bob Weiss? Are you Jerry Garcia, man?
Yeah, man.
I'm about to fall asleep. I like that. I do. I think I do.
Coma City?
Yeah. The phrase Coma City kind of, I don't give a shit about. I'll be honest. If you guys are listening, I think we'd be best friends. I do.
Yeah.
I don't know about that phrase. It's not doing anything to me.
I was thinking about it because I was like, because they've done stuff like that. What's the one on 21st? Is it Murder City?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Or Murder something?
Midnight in the murder city.
And like that means nothing
Yeah.
either, but I like that song.
I think it's always like they live in a bad. I always just imagine kind of like a bad downtown.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about this, though. Coma City, because I was thinking about it, like, okay, so what are they trying to say with Coma City? And it is the sort of state of being asleep, but in some ways kind of aware of your terrible circumstance that you're asleep and you can't do anything about it. That's not literally what a coma is, but if you know someone in a coma, you know you can't do anything to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't do anything to help themselves. And that's kind of the sort of dichotomous things he's pointing out in the lyrics of children at play, back from the chemist to mass on Sunday. I like that. I like the pull down the shade, board up the windows, and drink lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, just if you block it out, like you're in a war zone, but board up the windows and drink your lemonade.
Do your just normal routines.
Yeah. And then
I really like the chorus, just
Yeah.
the way that it sounds.
yeah. Gunshot heads shooting in the distance. It's on your face and hands with no resistance. That's cool.
Green Day's back.
I love this song and the fact that they are just rocking out at the end.
Yeah, this is a top 5. This is what I mean. I've as we get further into the album, away from some of the singles they put out, they're leaving some nuggets of gold in here. Just kidding. I'm not Leprechaun.
Oh. Yeah, I love this song.
Yeah. God, it's cold in here. I could really use a Corvette Summer. Maybe Bufanda.
rock and roll.
Here we go now.
I love whoever's doing this. Rock and roll.
Probably Mike. Guy's weird. Mike.
What is this Cheap Trick? What is this?
The sound?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Cars.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I want it. Yeah. I'm a rock and roll.
Here we go now. Corvette Summer begins with a reference to the Beach Boys.
Yeah, it's kind of Beach Boysy, I guess.
Can get around.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I guess.
people have said stuff before.
I mean, get around, not get around.
Don't want no money, don't want no fame. All I want's my records, making my pain go away. Where's the one I like? Where is it? Oh, yeah. Take me to urgent care or the record store.
Yeah.
That's how you get me into your song where I don't really care about you saying F it up on my rock and roll. And then someone going, here we go now. I don't know if you need the here we go now.
I like it.
If it was like
so
live,
yeah.
I would like it. I think this is very much a throwback style track.
Yeah.
Which is why it's in my top 5.
Yeah. This is it has, as I said to someone who texted me today about the album.
I'm gonna have to figure this out.
I'll say a little bit about that. Oh, maybe right now, but I said it has no right being as good as it is because when I saw it on the track list, Corvette Summer.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these songs like Bobby Sox, Suzie Chapstick. I say because they do have a tendency sometimes in like the trilogy to just like write a song about a random. They'll just throw a name in. That's like, I get maybe there's a punk sort of aspect of that where like, well, the Buzzcocks had a song called Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we'll have a song called Suzie Chapstick. Or something, there's something like that. I get it, but when a song is like Dear Sammy, Don't Go or whatever the hell, as an example, I can't connect to it very much. So I see Suzie Chapstick, I see Bobby Sox, I say, I hope the chorus isn't Bobby Sox, I love you. Luckily, none of that happens on this album, but I saw Corvette Summer, I said, uh-oh.
They're about to be playing this at Bebop's Burgers and Fries.
But then of course, I shouldn't doubt my boys because it is that, but it's their version of that, which is fucking cool.
And it's so fun that if I was just like, it's not good, it's not saying anything.
Yeah.
It's about rock and roll, right? It's just, but this isn't my screed on stop saying music now isn't good.
Yeah.
It's just like, I love rock and roll. Put another dime
in the jukebox, baby.
I don't need anything except this. What is that? Is that a cowbell or a wood block or something?
I think it's a cowbell.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's so pronounced in the mix.
Get around, I can get around. Bleep it up on my rock and roll.
Here we go now.
Taking a beating, kicked in the head, hit me with power chords before you leave me dead. That's cool. Living in chaos, sick and I'm bored, take me to urgent care or the record store. That's cool. And he was talking on, I think this was on Dax Shepard's podcast.
Oh, Mr. Armchair Expert.
Who is in trouble for something. I know we don't like him as much anymore. I never did in the first place. But I saw Billy was on, so I said, all right, I'll hear him act like he knows about Green Day. And it's a pretty, whatever, it's fun. Anyway, but Billy says, sometimes I do just want to go listen to music. And sometimes it feels like that's all that it makes sense. So I basically just wanted to write a kind of a throwback song about just going and looking at records and trying to make sense of the world by doing something kind of mindless, but obviously something that he's committed his whole life to, of making music and like listening to music. And I think he is knowledgeable of all the old stuff, and I think he said he goes to shows all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's constantly in the scene still, which is cool. But so I think your estimation of him being mad that modern music is, I think you might be a little off.
This was such a long road to like.
I'm just saying, I think you might.
I'm wrong. But he's saying like rock and roll's too safe now. Like, I guess if you're listening to the radio, but it's also, I feel like songs about when people were like scared of rock and roll, all the songs were just like, I'm listening to rock and roll. Like, rock and roll isn't anything.
Yeah.
It's just people saying the phrase.
Well, that's what's funny about like Kiss.
Which is what that's what this song reminds me of.
Kiss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all their whole thing is rock and roll.
Yeah.
I want to rock and roll. We sold our souls for rock and roll.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Black Sabbath? I don't know. But it's just all that where all their songs are just about wanting to rock.
Yeah.
People were like terrified.
Yeah. Which is funny. Yeah. Then you listen to the music. You're like, why was anyone scared? Just because they painted
their face? Well, we've got a band for you. And he plays a saxophone.
Don't worry. I've got a whole 50 minutes on that. But, no, I love this song.
Yeah.
One of my favorites on the album, and I hope they play it live. Can you imagine singing along?
God, I wish.
Get around, I can get around.
Just even that chorus, this sounds like this could have been like a song that was on the radio, I don't know, 40 years ago. Like 30 years ago. 92? No, it'd have to be a little older than that.
Yeah. Oh, God. 60, 70 years ago.
Hold on. We need to get my assistant in here because my lips are a little chapped. Suzie Chapstick. Thank you, dear. Ma'am, sorry. That's where I turn the album off.
Slow.
That was that bass.
He's doing his best work.
Will I ever see your face again? Not just photos from an Instagram. Will you say hello from across the street? From a place and time we used to meet. Sometimes everything just grows apart. Broken pieces from a busted heart. Not even the drugs seem to work. Living in the shadows where we lurk. Outside my window before the sun comes.
If I could sing, I'd be awesome.
It's just another vacant, cold and lonely night. Do you remember the jokes we told?
No.
Rumors from a long, long time ago. Did we get over our innocence? Did we take the time to make amends? Will you dedicate a song to me?
I like in the bridge when they do the.
Crazy how I can just find these things.
Like, what is. Turn it up a little, will you? What is that little instrument? Is that like a. something?
I don't know.
No.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. I like the. Because that's a little throwback too. The.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
I like how they're doing it with this. I think they tried to do that with some of the trilogy stuff, where they're like, we're going to our influences, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, but now you just kind of sound like we like when bands did this, so let's do that. And it's just like, well, now you just sound like you're copying. I feel like they're kind of incorporating it better now.
Yeah.
Where it sounds like them and kind of modern, but it's taking their influences in a way that a band sort of should, take in their influences. But what do I know? I'm just a guy that can't even talk.
Yeah. No, I agree. You can't. You can't.
You got Rob Cavallo on piano and guitar on this song. Maybe he's tinkering around back there.
He's doing something. Maybe it is just a piano, but it's cool.
It might be. I was reading an interview with a different band this week. Well, maybe we'll get to them sometime. But they said, how did you get the bass and the drums to sound so heavy and like so forward in the mix? And they said, we actually used an E-kit for that. And I was like, okay, you could do that. It sounds real.
Yeah. For the band that I know about that we're doing?
No. This is a different band.
Oh, okay.
But I was just like, I guess you can just do whatever with like
Whatever.
the computer.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Yeah. Just made me rethink even the album. But this
Doesn't that kind of make you think less of it, though?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
They're like, it's something they produce themselves, but I'm like, but I don't want it to be fake. And that's not what's going on here. Maybe Rob is playing a plunker. Like, I don't know.
It sounds like, maybe like a real piano that's mic'd and running through he's got it running through a pedal of some kind, or I don't know. Maybe I'll ask my music producer friend who says he loves the album.
Wow, who's this?
The same guy that said Corvette Summer is my theme song right now.
Gosh, I can't wait to hear who this is.
He's a singer-songwriter, producer down in Nashville.
My BFF's talking to some producer in Nashville.
Who says, the album sounds huge.
Wow.
I said, really big sound, but still feels like guys in a band playing, which some of their recent stuff hasn't really. He said, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a 4 or 5 piece band, not quite the wall of sound. It's a perfect example of deliberate arrangement choices, and once it's there, it's loud. Corvette Summer, now my theme song. So that's a real life music producer saying that.
Mm-hmm. All I can say to that, then, if that's what they're saying about Green Day, I guess Strange Days are here to stay.
That's all for Corvette Summer.
That's
Suzie
even what we're
Chapstick.
listening.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's good.
I like it. Good album track.
I'm gonna start this over.
Okay.
We stumble down the avenue like fairy dust and
Ballyhoo!
They promised us forever, but we got less. There's no such thing as promises, just secret codes from alphabets. They promised us forever, but we got less.
Sometimes I give myself the
We didn't mention how the other song sounds like when I come around.
Well, we did by singing it. But yeah,
I don't care.
There's only so many chord progressions.
Especially for these guys.
That's right.
Strange days I say. Well, this is how the world will end when superheroes play pretend. They promised us forever, but we got less. It's the return of the blob, and Jesus gonna quit his job. He promised us forever, but we got less. These are the best of times, twisted immoral times. These are the loneliest of times. Strange days are here to stay. Everyone is racist.
Yeah.
Uber's running late. Jesse killing baby boomer now. Strange days.
His microphone's on his shoulder.
My microphone is a snake. Strange days are here to stay. Isn't that right, Gene?
That's right, Gary.
Okay, so I'm mad at TikTok. I'm mad at Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that.
Uber?
I like the last song, other than I wish I could see your face again, just not
On
just on a
Instagram.
post on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that that's out of the way,
Now that you've blown their eardrums out.
well, I did over here.
Oh.
And I was told you can't hear me over there. But let's see. Strange days are here to stay.
Yeah.
Everyone is racist and the Uber's running late.
Yeah.
Makes me laugh.
Yeah. That
Is
works.
that's one of the better lyrics on the album.
Yeah, I love that.
Because it's a joke.
Yeah.
But he's right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just this like overwhelming exhaustion of like, everyone's racist.
Yeah.
Everyone's racist. You're just mad about that.
Yeah.
Like it's exhausting. And like almost more importantly, you know, like more immediately something that affects me more immediately.
Right.
My Uber's late.
Yeah.
And I like that he picked Uber. If he would have said ride share.
Well, yeah, you can't say that. Because I think in this case, more so than... Oh, see, that's the thing. I don't know. I agree with you, I think, for the most part. I don't like saying... I don't think you should add TikTok, Twitter.
At this point, you could say cell phone. I will allow cell phone.
But
maybe not smartphone. Maybe you could say iPhone. But maybe not. Just say phone.
maybe thematically, this song, since it is Strange Days Are Here to Stay, is more rooted in the time period. It doesn't feel as like I want The American Dream Is Killing Me to be something you could listen to 100 years from now, in theory, you know?
Yeah, I hope things are as bad in 100 years as they are right
well,
now.
if I'm a band and I like this,
you're a band.
Okay, I'm making like a rock protest rock song. I want it to be evergreen. I don't want to necessarily say 2 syllables TikTok that will sound like I'm stupid.
Yeah, you're trying to live that Woody Guthrie life, you always say.
Yeah. But no, I agree. That's one of my favorite lines.
I have a sticker on my guitar that says, "This machine kills edgelords."
Everyone is racist and the Uber's running late. Yeah, like you said, that's funny. And it also, there are certain lines like that remind me of course, we talk about him all the time, but it's time to do it now. It's the Bo Burnham Minute. Mm-hmm. His great song, There It Is, that funny feeling, where it's all these sort of like school shooting, something else that's minor. They're all of these sort of things now feel, because of this little device and our constant stream of information, it all feels the same of the impending existential dread and doom of our life.
Bob Iger's face. That's the one that I like.
Yeah. It's all the same to us now.
Yeah.
And I think that that is the sort of perfect version of that type of thing. Like, it captures all of that to the point where you just have to sit silently for a while and think about everything. But this is a quick punk version of that where I like that. I like that stuff. So
yeah, I like this. This is also a very kind of classic, like latter half of an album Green Day sound.
yeah.
But I don't know. I like it.
I like it.
I like it. It just sounds like a classic song of theirs that's done well. I don't know. They're very confusing. I want to hate the album. I really do. No.
Are we in hell or is this just a fantasy? I can't see this ending well now that it's too late. I also like all the madmen going mental. Grandma's on the fentanyl now.
I do, but if they are being old men, ever since Bowie died, it hasn't been the same. I'm like, that's not the reason why.
Well, I think he said in that Dak Shepard thing, he does feel like a connection to Bowie, but more so it was 2016 when Bowie died.
Yeah.
And that's kind of is the timeline of everyone losing their mind.
I take it back. He's right.
But his other thing is with the sort of overarching saviors theme of like Bowie is a hero, or what he would consider a hero or savior of his musically and whatever, like an icon, and the sort of death of the icon is also what he's talking about, of like all these great people that he's looked up to are dying off. So it's not the same anymore.
And that is kind of the year that things... I would call that year the beginning of a several-year dumpster fire.
What's crazy to me is that strange days are here to stay because we're living in the 20s.
They love doing that.
Another shooting in a supermarket. I spent my money on a bloody soft target.
Jesus.
Matches and I'm riding Colorado. I got
Oof.
my statue and I'm gonna win the lotto. Congratulations, best of luck and blessings. We're all together and we're living in the 20s. Salutations on another era. My condolences. Ain't that a kick in the head?
I'm not fucking around. They're just doing covers of themselves. And that's why I love them. Jeez.
Just sounds cool. Oh, who's that? Narcy Licks.
The sleepiest guy you've ever seen. Jason Wyatt. That's basically the whole
This
song.
is the song.
Okay.
God. There's been a trend of, and I'll just speak right into this. There's been a trend of artists, one that we're going to talk about soon, not on the album we're going to talk about, but they also wrote a song specifically about the 20s.
Uh-huh.
And there's some other bands that are very specific. Blink-182 also talks about it's
Yeah.
2023 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's already out of date. So my thing is, there's more than ever. I don't remember bands and like being like, it's 1998 and I'm feeling great and here's a picture of me. It's me at the Grand Canyon and now it's 2003.
I mean, I agree with you, but I think we're wrong. But I agree with you.
Like
I think we're in the history of music, there people probably are talking about specific times.
I think they are. I just don't remember when it was so like
I agree.
living in the and it's like, but why do I hate that? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's just because it feels like it's just dating it.
Yeah.
And it's just maybe because I'm terminally online and I need to touch grass.
Yeah, probably.
But everyone online being like, okay, didn't have that in my 2024 bingo card, or like all these people I feel like are gonna sort of there's sort of this feel of that people are bragging about how bad things are, and that they're living through it. Mm-hmm. Like, wow, 2021 was crazy, and 2023, please be gentle on us. And there's all this like, I'm gonna tell my kids about COVID. There's this sort of like, look at what I am living through.
Yeah.
As like it's like,
well, it's everyone's a victim, as he'll say later.
Maybe it's a little of that, so I just hear it too much. Yeah. But the song rocks.
Yeah,
and he's yelling at me.
Yeah.
Living in the 20s.
It is, I would say, it's strange because Strange Days Are Here to Stay is basically the same thing. Like, it's touching the same stuff, and I think probably doing it better.
One Must Go.
Well, I'm just saying, for having them back to back is weird to me.
Yeah.
And then kind of this, I mean, it kind of is like, well, just pick the better one. And to me, because of what we just said, like, I agree. Stranger Days Are Here to Strange Days Are Stranger Things are here to slay as season 5 rolls out.
Yes.
And Strange Days are here to stay. Feels a little more timeless, even though it is pretty specific, as we talked about with the Uber and the But this song does rock, and it's like 2 minutes.
Doesn't it sound like it's getting fat, like it's going to fall apart at the end?
Yeah.
Like the tambourine comes back in, and it's almost like too fast.
Yeah.
I feel like the car's about to go off the wheels.
Whoa.
like it's Goofy driving. His wheels are going to get left behind. He's not going to notice.
Yeah.
For another couple miles.
No.
And then he looks down and he's like, it's not until you notice, like when you walk off the mountain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. I just wonder how it's going to... I'm interested to see how living in the 20s kind of ages. And maybe another 20 years from now, when this is the new American Idiot, you know... God, can you imagine?
No.
We'll listen to this and be like, living in the 20s. As we're like eating cracker rations and we're like, okay, Tank Girl actually wasn't that far off.
You're too bad. I agree, but we'll cut this one.
Yeah. That's just, I think that's called tough love. It's something you have to do when you're talking father to a son.
What?
Jeez. I sent a postcard sent to you.
Oh, I was going to do words trapping in my mind. I'm sorry I can't find the time to just feel the way I do. It's kind of a deep cut Green Day song.
That's Balson.
But it is kind of the same.
Are we not home? They should do a medley.
They should. I'd actually like that.
Yeah.
I like musicals.
We should make... Then you'll love them. You'll love this. Musical. Father to a son.
Even on this, Mike is like, I'm not turning down. Ring ding ding boom boom ba boom ba doom boom ba doom boom 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 ba boom ba.
He's like, I got a son too. Doom doom doo 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 doo. Shh. Oh! Father to son.
And then they kind of rock out.
They rock out, but we cannot.
No,
like
no,
I said, every song on this album is in and out.
It's short, yeah.
Gosh, they really is. They are California at heart. I mean, all their songs are in and out.
Animal style.
Put that boom boom sauce on them fries.
You make fun of you make fun of my favorite lyric from this song. Mm-hmm. I never knew a love could be scarier than anger. Mm-hmm. A promise, father to a son.
Yeah. I don't make fun of it.
You make fun of it. And that's okay.
I make fun of like the song says, love is scarier than anger.
Yeah.
So for me to sit here and admit I like that line would make me sound like a little soy boy beta cuck.
Yeah.
So I make fun of it.
Yeah. I know.
Instead of saying, well, that's sweet.
Yeah. I know, buddy. This, it's kind of in the grand tradition of Billy sticking a song about his own life into an album that's not really about that at all.
Yep.
Like Wake Me Up When September Ends, which is, by the way, a song I love and a great song on American Idiot. It's the only one that doesn't really fit in the rock opera that they're telling, but that's fine. I don't care. It's just, again, I don't think this one really fits any of the rest of the album. I'm happy to have it. I'm not a father, but I am a son. I feel I'm very close to my dad. I feel it tugging on the heartstrings when I hear a guy singing about, or when I see a movie about a father and a son, when I hear a guy singing about being a father and or a son. I feel those things. So I like that he was opening up a little bit. And we all know his tragic backstory of his father passing away when he was just a boy. So he never really had a father figure.
This is sort of maybe a spiritual successor to Wake Me Up When September Ends.
I think it is, yeah.
He's become a father in his own right.
Literally, yeah, sure. for like the last 30
add.
years.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he had his first son. He got married and had his first son like right after Dookie came out.
Isn't that weird?
Crazy. You think about a young rock guy not doing that, but he did kind of the opposite, which is interesting.
They're just guys, man.
I love them. I like the song a lot. It doesn't really fit on the album, but
That's kind of my problem. Heartfelt sentiment aside.
yes, Joey can't go there right now, people.
I'm not pushing. I'm just.
Someday he will open up to us.
If I see a movie and it's like, the kid does something and his dad like is he sees his dad off to the side of the stands and the dad just goes like,
yeah,
I turn it off.
yeah.
I go, not today. I can't get into that. No, it's a very. That's my problem is it just doesn't feel like it fits. It's sort of like there has to be a ballad at the end of an album for some reason. They bring all the strings in. I've seen people saying I don't like that. It feels a little forced or conceited. I've seen people say it feels right to me or it feels nice. I don't know. When there's not that much else of that on the record, then it's like, and here's the one where we have a big chorus and you see all the money that's going into this album.
I think that's the only like it doesn't fit on the album. That's plain and simple it. I like this. I like the production on the song.
I don't think it needs the strings.
Maybe
I think
not.
It was just them and it was like one of their songs
Yeah.
because to me it's throwing a little too much mustard on there where he's like, I love my kid, and it's really getting into it.
Maybe a little too sappy.
Yeah, but not in a way that, not that it's not genuine.
No,
I get what he wants to do.
Yeah,
but yeah, it just seems a little more manufactured sappiness.
Yeah,
like you're singing about your kid, you should throw some violins and stuff.
Yeah,
on
we should
there.
throw that in, and it does. I like. Then I was trying to think like no, and I was thinking, is this like to make it so it could be a wedding song? But then I realized not as many weddings would have a father or son dance. I mean, it happens, I'm sure, but not.
Yeah,
not. But maybe I don't know. It just because it does have the vibe of like, let's throw some strings in there, and then we can get a little extra. Like this can. Not that they really thought that, but just it does have that like, we'll add a little extra sentiment with the sort of manufactured sentiment that you're talking about, and then we can put it in a movie too, or something like that.
You think Cavallo's like corrupt now?
No, I think they just were like, I want this song to be huge and beautiful. And they're like, well, yeah, how about a string section? And they're like, yeah, that's cool. And then they did it.
Yeah.
That's how I really think.
I like it, but there's still the feeling of in Wake Me Up When September Ends when he says like my father's come to pass. 20 years have gone like that to me is still seems more. It gets to you a little bit deeper.
Oh, absolutely.
Than a guy being like to my son, if there's anything I can do for you,
bada bing,
like his
bada
30-year-old son that seems to be doing fine.
Yeah.
Like he's in his own bands and
well. I don't need to get into it, but I think one of the sons is doing a little better than the other.
Oh, no.
I'll just say that.
I really should have read an interview before I came in here.
Well, Billy doesn't talk about it, And in fact, on the Armchair Expert, he was like, Dax was like, so you have a couple sons, right? And he was like, yeah, I wrote the song. Yes. No, he was nice about it, but that's
okay,
what
well,
I was thinking.
I guess that's good to have in mind. But maybe people, when you're listening to an album, you might not have that in mind. That
No, I agree. And I don't think that is it. Because he doesn't speak about it at all. He's like, yeah, my one's in a really cool band. And he's like, what is your other son in a band? And he's like, he was, but he's doing some more grown-up stuff now. And I follow the band that he was in. Mm-hmm. I don't super like their music, but I just saw that his son was in it. And there was some canceling of the band, let's say, for allegations. So I don't think it was him, but I think Billy is trying to just be like, yeah, he's on to other stuff.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
But, so I don't know. Anyway. Maybe it is more of like, hey, whatever happens, buddy, I love you. Yeah. If the allegations are true, I still love you.
Which is fine. It just doesn't fit on the album.
And you know what I was thinking about Wake Me Up When September Ends, too?
What's that?
It's like, it's such a... I know you can't do this all the time because people would just do it all the time, but like that guitar part and the drum part is just so kind of one of one. It's like so iconic of like the ding, 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 ding. And it's like so... And that album is full of cool drum parts that are like, Are We the Waiting? Of like, just cool stuff that's not just hi-hat. Like the regular punk of...
Well, it's a couple bars of like, ding, 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 ding. Then it's like floor time. Yeah. It's just all kind of the same.
Yeah. And that's why American Idiot's so good. Because it's not that all the time. And I do want that again. You can do that again.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's that thing, too, that we talk about a lot of you get so good at what you do where it becomes like against how good you are to do something strange. Where you're like, I know how a song works. It doesn't work with a weird guitar part and drum part that are like syncopated.
And something like that where it can come off as maybe too simple.
Yeah.
Like anyone can sit behind a drum kit. I'm sure tons of kids learn drums by being like, doom, 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 doom. But it's not about how simple it is. It's about the feeling behind it. Yeah. It's about what are you saying? And when they go, we want to make a rock record, then it sort of follows all those. That's why I like when there's some variation on here.
Yeah.
But let's get a little more of that, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Let it breathe, baby. This album's a fine wine. Pop that cork, pour it in your thing, swirl it around. Spit it in the bucket. Drink from the bucket, like Mr. Giamatti in Sideways. Oh, nasty. And he's like, yeah, well,
So, yeah, I think it's just maybe a little too sappy, a little too safe. But I like the song. I like the sentiment. I love his voice on a ballad, as we said before. He's just got a great voice.
Father to a son. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's one of our saviors. Jeez. If you're driving your car and I just scared the shit out of you, and I want to start a rager. It just all sound like...
Calling all saviors tonight.
Here, you'll like this part.
Okay. Yeah, Green Day. I hope they don't watch this.
Sketch and fall.
Calling all saviors
Tonight.
make us all believers alive. Calling all strangers tonight. Will somebody save us tonight?
I'm going to turn it down there.
Yeah, you can turn it off.
We've hit the halfway mark on the song Saviors. The title track.
The bridge is kind of cool, but
Yeah.
we don't need to listen to it. Yeah, as you point out,
Everybody's asleep, but nobody's dreaming. We got all the fiction that's worth believing. Tell me about it. Sounds like other songs of theirs. This is not a new problem. This is Church on Sunday. What static? What the hell's that called? Static on the radio or whatever. On the radio.
yeah.
If I do the church on Sunday. There's just, and I get it. Hey, honestly, all you need for punk music is 3 chords and the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So think about that. He says he doesn't like writing these long songs. Just the way they are
This is a long song?
set up. No, I mean, like, this sounds like part of a like suite of songs.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the ones that are like, okay, now we're getting to the end of the suite of this musical they're writing.
I wish it would be.
Be cool.
Because we only need one of the chorus. Calling all saviors. If this went into, after that first chorus, it went into a, and he was like, everybody's all to go up there, dooba choppa dooba choppa dooba there, ribba choppa, and then it, by the end, went back to, calling all saviors,
and it's a different key.
yeah.
How do you do it? Saviors, calling all say.
I think they do it in the song, don't they?
Yeah. God, I would do it.
I think they do,
but they already do it, so I don't need to do
Yeah.
it, which I can do. Just not
But-
going to.
I think this one kind of calls for it because it is just kind of, to me, this is one of the,
Yeah.
it's down on the bottom.
Why name the album after this song?
This is the first song he said he wrote
Don't care.
during the pandemic,
Don't care.
and this kind of sparked the album, the idea for the album.
How I feel bad. Don't care. Calling all saviors tonight. Make us all believers tonight.
Yeah,
Saviors.
I think it's not the strongest way.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say. I think it's a better ending song than what we get as an ending song.
Yeah, I think we've hit the peak of the album. To me, is a mountain. We start kind of low for me.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect. We've hit our peak, and now for some reason, we've come back down. Right? We've all seen the pictures of the overcrowded Mount Everest.
We've all seen those pictures. Yeah.
I
just
don't
think
really have much to say about this. It just feels like it has that sort of like it's some part of some medley where it's like they have to hit the chorus. Calling all saviors tonight. Like, okay, now someone needs to come save us. We've talked about how crazy this world is.
Mm-hmm.
Won't someone come save us? I've heard more interesting versions of this.
from them too.
Yeah.
I think, of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Because the other thing too is like with the whole Bowie thing, I think he is feeling like there's no one. And then in this song where he's like something about we're the last of the rockers making a commotion, which you laugh at, and I agree it's kind of cringe, as the kids say, but it does seem like no other band gets the media rollout that these guys did for this album. Like even Blink-182 is kind of like was there a huge media put? Like, they weren't on Good Morning America. They didn't do news
No,
stories
it was
about
more
them.
just. I mean, they're huge, but it was more of a grassroots.
Yeah.
In terms of like marketing to the right people, but they weren't buskers.
Yeah.
On Jimmy Fallon.
I think Green Day is more pointing to the fact of like, we might be the last of the like rock bands like Rolling Stones or like these bigger bands that like everyone knows a Green Day song. They are the last sort of that are on Good Morning America that like people know about. I'm not saying they're necessarily doing the most important stuff or whatever, but I think they're the last with the reach, maybe. And I think that's what they're kind of pointing to of like, and that's sort of the call of this song of like, hopefully there's someone else out there to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, when you
it
think
feels a little self-righteous, and I don't think they mean it that way, really, because then you talk to them in an interview and they're like, yeah, we just like rock music, and like they're not. I don't think they think that they're as important as maybe their songs make them seem they are. But I don't know. I think they feel a sort of responsibility that, which I wish they didn't, because I think it'd make more interesting stuff.
Yeah. If they didn't feel some
like,
sort of need to,
yeah,
we have to do this,
yeah,
make this type of music. And they're just mad about Imagine Dragons or whatever, which I am too.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the radio because I dislike almost everything on there.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it for a while, so maybe there's, but just I don't like that stuff. So I get kind of that maybe in terms of the radio presence, the general public of like, and people now probably on the radio too, everyone's looking for the safe, like, well, what's so down the middle of the road other than like country radio, which will sometimes pick for some reason some weird conservative lean to what they're saying.
Right.
Most stations try to pick something that probably everyone is like, it's apolitical.
Yeah.
And Green Day was like, having American Idiot and stuff on the radio is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
When you think about how mad people get about anything now.
Yeah. Well, and they were mad then too, but I think now it was actual news stories about him changing a lyric to the MAGA agenda on Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve, which, I mean, I think other bands get press like that, but mostly online. But like, it was like, again, on Good Morning America or like these morning shows of like, Green Day is in hot water with the Fox News crowd because they changed one of their lyrics from redneck to MAGA, as if that, like, the old version is better.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I think they might be one of the last, like, I don't think, would U2 or like, I don't know. I don't think, because it is the era of Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
Yes.
These people who are in their own right, they make their politically activist statements and stuff.
But they're safer about it, right? Like Taylor Swift was kind of forced into it a little bit.
Oh, you're going to get in trouble.
Oh, God.
Oh, you're going to get in trouble.
Don't put this on TikTok.
Oh, God.
Doesn't it, but.
She was forced not to, and then she finally said she has to.
No. I don't believe that.
Everyone in her life told her, don't. You're going to lose all your fans. And she finally said, I don't care. It's my life. I'm going to say it. Vote against Trump and his cronies. And she got a bunch of people signed up to vote.
But to my point, they're told.
And he won.
They're told. Yeah, so it didn't work. They're told not to speak about this stuff.
Of course.
Especially pop artists.
Yes, of course.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah. But
I don't want to see the comments on this.
You're just in trouble. I'm
fuck.
sorry. I try to save you, but I can't. You would call a savior tonight. But no, I of course.
You know who my savior would be? Chuck Norris. That'd be awesome.
And you've won the internet again, sir.
Dear sir.
I doff my cap to you.
Oh, God.
Point being,
Chuck Norris doesn't sleep. He waits. Is that your point?
yeah.
Why'd you say that? Point being, there's 2 songs that come after the ballad. This one's not winning me over.
Saviors?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not great.
So let's see if we can throw a little something on the end of this album to spice it up. Earlier today, a lot of people don't know this, I hinted at it, but you had some boom boom sauce. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put a little fancy sauce.
Ooh. I hope it's shockingly spicy. Oh, sounds like not.
Yeah.
I like this as a sound to end the album. This is kind of cool.
Take me to the end, called the loony bin. Somewhere
I'm with you so far.
and take it on the chin. Flowers all in bloom.
In my rubber suit.
Scratching at the wallpaper.
In my rubber suit.
Okay, here we go.
Falling like a yo-yo. Paradise for love gods. Medicate my sorrow. I'm not crazy.
Imagine all of us together.
That's crazy. Everybody's crazy. Getting stoned and lazy.
Yeah.
As we all die young someday. We all die young someday. We all die young and watch it slip away. Howling at the moon in my rubber
suit.
Watch the evening news 'cause it's my favorite cartoon. Gonna join a cult, do a somersault. Everyone's a victim and it makes me wanna puke. Go,
And we turn it down there.
I like the verses. It's just when you go, falling like a yo-yo. Everybody's loco. That's just,
I like how it goes. The syncopation. I might have made that up. I think I made that word up.
Wow.
But I like I like it. Do, 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 do. But yeah, go. I don't like I feel like the whole I'm freaking I'm crazy.
In a rubber
Throw
suit.
me in a rubber room and called the loony bin. Take me to the loony bin.
Yeah.
And I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Maybe the rubber room's the world. There's a little, which he's not saying. No. I'm saying that. But take me to the loony bin because I'm freaking crazy.
Yeah.
This is well-tread territory.
Well, for them. Again, it's like when you write Basket Case 30 years ago, you have to have a little more juice than this.
Mm-hmm.
For me. If you're going to go back to the picking at the wallpaper, I'm a crazy guy because I have anxiety and I don't know. It's like...
Yeah. The one that gets to me, that made me, as the kids say, cringe sauce. Watch the evening news because it's my favorite cartoon. Is Packy stand up. It's
I could
Washington is where the clowns live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watch cartoons. I watch the evening news. Do you hear about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says it so slow, like he really wants you to hear how clever he
Well,
is.
it's just the song is so slow. He could be packing in a little more.
Gonna join a cult, do a somersault. Everyone's a victim, and it makes me want to puke. I'm fine with that.
Sure.
I think he knows that cancel culture is bad.
I think I like instead of I'm so crazy, you're the one that's crazy. I like the I'm so famous, you're the one that's famous.
Yeah.
Everybody's famous, stupid, and contagious as we all die young someday.
Mm-hmm.
I like we all die young someday of like a 70-year-old someday will die young.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool concept. I just think if that phrase, that line, we all die young someday, was in a song about something more than just being like, I'm a crazy person, everybody's crazy in
That's
a crazy
when there's
little
good
house.
nuggets of
Yeah.
of lyricism
Yeah.
just in a song that can kind of get looked over.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you upset for him.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me cry, makes me sad.
Yeah. I just think it's a weird way to go out with the father to a son, Saviors. I mean, Saviors is kind of probably should be the final song just because it is the sort of calling on dun, dun,
Right.
the bigger, and then this is just kind of like ba 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 ba. But it's
think
just so plotting.
They
and,
didn't
like,
know where to put it.
just
Because
don't
it's kind of like
put it in.
Yeah.
That's my solution.
So I don't know why. Like, if they just ended on, we need someone to, like, here's all the issues, calling all saviors, I'd still be like, yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the record. Then to go to this,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
So where I'm at with this album, I talked to you about this a little bit. I had a different sequencing that I was toying around with. We kind of got to it. I think, look, it's not that I don't want to cut songs. Oh yeah, I got logged out of so I don't know so never mind. But I'd probably cut a couple.
Wow.
I had my playlist in my app, but my app got logged out somehow and I can't get back in, so I can't pull up my playlist. But never you mind.
Sad. This is like when Doug.
It should be in
When
a
Doug's
Green Day
playing
song.
basketball, and someone takes his basketball in King of Queens.
Oh yeah.
It's
That
sad
was
like
actually
that.
a koosh ball.
Yeah, koosh ball.
I'll show you someday. But
That was my idea.
oh yeah.
You can't just look at these and guess. You can't remember.
I can. But like I was saying, well, first of all, that I said that should be in a Green Day song. I'm logged out of my phone, so I can't listen to my music.
That would. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of living in the 20s.
I'm at home, but I'm locked out of my phone, so I can't listen to any of my music. Do. We are living in 2024.
Yeah, that's good. I started with the same two.
iPhone 15. Oh.
To me, I start.
American Dream. If it's staying on the album, it has to be the first song.
Yeah, to me, I think so. I think it's a good opener. I go into Look Mono Brains. I might be cutting Bobby and One Eyed Bastard and go right into Dilemma as track 3. Or I might throw 1981 as track 3 and then put Dilemma 4.
I don't think I'd cut One Eyed Bastard. I think it's
We'll keep One Eyed Bastard.
okay.
So we'll go.
I hope someone makes this and sends us a cassette.
We'll go the earbud.
earbud.
Let's see. Green Day Saviors earbuds version.
Yeah, I like that.
The American Dream is killing me. Look Mono Brains. One Eyed Bastard.
Sure.
Keep it right there. Go to Dilemma.
Yeah, I mean, personally, when you brought this up to me earlier, I was like, I don't know if I'd change where any of them are, other than I don't like the end of the album.
Well, okay. So Dilemma. So we'll keep 1981 there.
Yeah.
Here's my big change that I am going to suggest. So never mind. We'll scrap this bit. But I think if we keep Saviors on the album at all, I might say cut it. But because Billy, he really wants it on the album. Okay, fine. If I'm in the band, I say, let's have Saviors end side 1 at the Coma City slot.
Yeah.
And then Coma City gets bumped to finale status. Because I think
like that.
I think how that starts, let's just hear how it's a cool, like, that's your final track. You're like, oh shit, we're about to.
Especially if you're keeping Father to a Son.
Yeah. This is cool to end an album on.
Yeah. You're already talking about a city that needs help. I don't need you then to go to Saviors.
And then with how it ends with everyone rocking out, that's a cool way to end an album.
Maybe extend that.
Yeah.
Because you can tell they're kind of just riffing off each other.
That's what I'm saying. This is a final song.
Yeah. We go to the end.
Yeah.
A couple.
And turn it up on your end a little bit, will
And
you?
God, I would love to. Nightmare.
This is how you end an album, too. And this is how you end a show, a live show, too. Like, that's...
Also, name the album Coma City. Yeah. I said I don't like it, but if you just name the album...
Don't phaser it. Just let them go out naturally. And I've even do a dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun 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 and then go
then go into this, and everyone's like, yeah!
And Will Ferrell is there.
They got a shirt on too small. It'd actually be cool if they ended with all that and then played Corvette Summer. Yes, it's a good song. They open with it and then they go back to it to close the show.
It's like when they were around the trilogy time, they were also doing Foxborough Hot Tubs. And they would play shows as Foxborough Hot Tubs, and they would play their song, the Green Day song, Fuck Time. They would play it like 3 times a show because they just loved it so much, which is funny. But that'd be funny to do on an album. Like, we just like this song a lot. It's on there 3 times.
It's like, we were like, wow, the album's like 58 minutes.
4 versions of Corvette Summer. That's good.
But overall, nice. I mean, 46 minutes. I don't feel like...
And 16 songs.
Yeah.
Like, that's a quick 16. Or is it 15? Maybe it's 15.
I thought it was... No, it's 15.
Okay. My bad. Sorry.
But I like that just because sometimes an album is like 30 minutes and...
That's the thing. I feel bad being like, let's cut some. Because I want all of them. Like I said, even the little singles that they put out over the past couple of years, they're they're good. I just never put them on because I get in the car to drive for a while. I'm not just going to put on one song and then I have to grab my phone and drive off the road trying to get...
Single isn't something I'm adding to my library necessarily.
No. So I like having these songs.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure when I revisit it, new things will pop for me. Maybe some things won't pop as much for me. This is just where we're at after listening to it a few times, right?
Yeah, it just came out, but you've given it a fair shake, I think, a couple times. Listened to it several times.
Yeah.
Gosh, what are you thinking here? I'm gonna be conservative because I got in trouble with my Blink 182
We both got in trouble.
We both got in trouble
because we ragged on it, and then we gave it.
Then we said we liked it.
An 8.5 or something.
Yeah, I gave it a 9. I probably could have gone lower. I think for this, I'm around a 7 because I like it. Like we said, there's just parts here and there where I'm kind of just listening to it and tuning it out. But just like, okay. And I get what they're doing, but it's not like,
there's not as much meat on the bones to really.
Like you said, I don't know if we're going to get another, like it seems like at this point in their career, if they were going to do that, like reinvent and really go after it.
I think this is.
Now would be the time. And I think this is them trying that, right?
Yeah. By all accounts, this kind of, the way they've been talking about it and the way the articles and interviews have been going, where they're like, it's not really a reinvention, but it feels like something new for you guys. And they're like, yeah, I mean, this is our favorite album we've ever done. You're like, that can't be true.
Yeah. But
I'm glad that they're happy with it, don't get me wrong. But also, isn't every artist, when they make a new album?
But that's when you see what they've done up to this point. Then this is their kind of big new album. For whatever reason, the stars aligning to make people care about it. It doesn't feel like in the next 3 years they're going to put out another one that's going to be like, well, check this one out, though.
Yeah.
And like, here's some actual really crazy good stuff.
Yeah.
But if you like the band, I think you'll like this.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for reasons to not like it, you can find them.
That's the thing. I mean, yeah.
But that's what our thing was with the Blink album too.
Yeah.
I know the production's bad.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on.
I know there's some terrible lyrics. But I choose in my heart to be happy that something is happening.
Well, and I think too, like they have done, to me, they haven't put out as many great albums as Green Day. As far as like, a lot of their albums are good.
They haven't put out as many albums, period. And
that's what I mean.
And most of them aren't.
They're not like
as consistent.
Yeah, Green Day had like I said, maybe like a 9-10 album run of like great albums, good to great, if not great to perfect, in my opinion. And I know I'm a fanboy and I'm a homer and I I get that way about stuff I like. I'm loyal to the stuff I like until you really tell me I shouldn't be. Like I'm just now coming around on Star Wars maybe not being super great at Disney. These are the things that
no, because you want it to be good.
You want it to be
you
good.
You want more of the thing you like.
You look for the light.
And you like these people. When you follow music the way we do, and probably people that listen to this show, that's what you care about. And I think there are people that can easily write people off that they listen to, and then you feel bad.
Yeah.
You're like, well, he's like, Billy's trying.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. I mean, they're from Dookie to go from like Warning to Green Day, to go from Warning to American Idiot is such a insane turn.
Yeah.
From like what they were doing and then what it became, and then just turning it to that and becoming that.
And what's crazy is people don't like Warning, and it's great.
Yeah. It's one of our friends' favorite albums, I believe.
I listened to it like a few months ago, just kind of on a whim. I was like, I haven't heard that in a while. It's still pretty great.
It's good. But like, yeah, Nimrod's great, Insomniac's great. All those, I like that. That's why I like when they're kind of fast and not singing about I just don't need some surface level inspection of like America's crazy right now.
Yeah.
I think the other thing with that, very quickly,
please,
is the immediacy of all media now. Like we get so much with X and Instagram. Like everything is so immediate to hating everything that's going on, and you get inundated with so much of it that then for like, well, you thought the insurrection was crazy. In 3 years, Green Day is going to put out a song that's kind of upset about like Trump stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, it's not, you're like, it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I guess I agree with them, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, with the immediacy of the internet, you hear, like we've talked about on this very show, of like everything feels a little done already, even more so than it ever was. Like people on the very apps you sing about, sir, like TikTok, will be writing what they think is a comedy song or a protest song or a good song, and they don't know that it's actually not good. But it is basically saying all of the same stuff, maybe better, maybe worse, and all of the comments like it. It's propelled, it's liked, and you know, everyone's like, oh my gosh, this, yas,
Yeah.
all this stuff. But it is like, I've heard this, even with comedy, with music, anything now, of like, especially the sort of social commentary that I really like, and I like Billy. I respect his outlook on things. I think he's one of the greats to do it. But now there is the sort of, well, I saw a guy on Twitter say that. He said that like a year ago. So,
Yeah.
and like, it just happened. Clips of that Ted prequel show are going around on my side of X, where they're like, okay, is Ted actually funny as hell? And it is exactly a joke that Bo Burnham did in his Words special. And then we don't need to get into this, but someone pointed that out, and then all the comments under that were like, well, yeah, but that's Bo Burnham. Like the internet has turned on Bo Burnham now because he's something. I don't know why, but you know, so it is the sort of 15 minutes of fame, et cetera, et cetera. But my point is, it's hard to put out something original, concise, exploratory of things going on, but also insightful, while also competing with everything that's ever been created by man at the touch of a finger on a little piece of glass. That is hard. And you're competing with your entire oeuvre, where you've made one of the great rock albums of the century, of the last 50 years or something, at least. And you've made just great music all around that, too. It's hard to compete with that. So you have to... So that's where I kind of land on this. With Billy Joe's thoughts on how the Rolling Stones will put out a new album and have a couple great songs. I think, unfortunately, but I think it's the way all artists end up going. You put out an album, there are a few great ones, and some other stuff that's like, yeah, that's a good Green Day song, but it's not like a all-timer.
Do you think he's sort of knows that's maybe where they are too? Like,
maybe
not everyone's gonna like. I mean, I'm sure they hear it.
I'm sure they hear it, yeah,
all the time with all their albums.
Yeah.
But understanding, like, hopefully people find a few of these really great, and we're doing what we want and what's fun.
I think so,
and people like it. And I think they still like making music. They don't have to be making albums anymore.
Well, that's the thing too, of like all the interviews come around of like, how are you guys still doing it 50 years old and you're still playing music? And you're like, didn't we just talk about the Rolling Stones who are 90 and they're still doing it? But there's like, they practice every week, like 8 hours a week or something, which doesn't seem like a lot, but Trey said in something that they talked to Muse about, like, they saw them at a recording studio or something, and they were like, whoa, you guys still record together? Like, bands just don't do that anymore. Like Blink-182, where they would send it to a different studio to record Tom's vocals and his parts. But they're still getting together. They're still talking about it. They still care about how it sounds. It might not be hitting us the way they hope it does, but we all grow up, don't we?
Yeah, and we all die young someday. This has been our review of Green Day's Saviors.
I give it a 7.5.
Do you like Holiday less than Boulevard of Broken Dreams?
I think
Because I find Boulevard Broken Dreams kind of skippable at this point.
Well, it got played so much.
It got played so much, and it is slow.
Yeah.
And there's sort of that very reverby guitar.
I think if I were to hear the album for the first time again, I would like Boulevard better.
Okay.
But it's hard to divorce myself from the reality of I've heard both of them 8 trillion times.
Yeah.
And at this point, they kind of the first 4 tracks of that album, I don't need to listen to anymore because I've heard them.
Yeah.
I'll just go right to Are We the Waiting?
Dum, kick, gum, gum, dum. Well, that's been our dum, kick, gum, dum, dum, review of Green Day Saviors.
Starry night, city lights coming.
If you have any thoughts, put them below.
Yes.
If you want to subscribe to our show, that helps. If you're just watching this on YouTube, like we said, we can't, there's no monetization here. We just played a bunch of music we don't own. So subscribe to the show. I don't know what that does either, but someone somewhere likes that. Go to thepfpn.com to find out more about our other shows and other shows that we're affiliated with.
Yeah.
I think at this point.
Prescribed Films Podcast Network.
I love that. And
PFPN.
We've been Earbuds, and you've been our buds.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll get back to our regular stuff.
Calling all
Bye.
sailors tonight.
Each week we listen to an album, here's our mind. Just know it's gonna take about 3 hours of your time to hear us complain or praise each other's taste. But no matter what, at the end of the day, we're just best friends who love different music. We are earbuds, earbuds, earbuds. This is Earbuds.